In this video, we're going to discuss the object switch behavior. But before we do, I wanted to give a quick shout out to Jisafu. This scene that we're looking at today is one of the entries that he submitted for the November contest. So hats off to him. Really nice job, great detail, all kinds of stuff to see in this scene. In fact, there's so much that I can't really even show you everything about this scene in this video because we'd spend all the time talking about it. But I do want to show you just one quick thing before we get started. He's got this little guy here fishing, which I thought was kind of cool. There are some fish floating around here somewhere. They're kind of randomly floating around. And then we've got some folks over there on the boat talking. Just so much to see. A lot of great detail. But I wanted to use this temple for this particular demonstration because what we have here is a temple that has been modified so that there's these depictions on the walls. And so I kind of ran with that and added some other detail. What I did was I added these skulls. And so the skulls are facing the depiction and they're matching the color of the depiction. So we have a gold skull, it's looking at the gold image. We have the blue skull, he's looking here at the blue image. And then we have the red skull. The red skull is not facing the red image. And so we're just going to turn it. We're just going to click this. And you can see that the skull is turning kind of slow, but it's turning towards the depiction. And you can hear that click. So that means that it's activated something. We'll look around the room and we see that the block over here in the corner has slid. And behind it was a little piece of treasure that we could pick up. So that is like a little puzzle that I've made out of the room. So let's take a look and see how that works. Alright, so we're going to start with the red skull. It was a little dark in here, so I added some lights just so we could see what we were doing. Okay, so here's the red skull. Let's take a look at the behavior. So object switch is applied to the skull. The first thing we see is the prompt text, which is E to use. It's pretty normal. We have the use range, which is how close do we have to be in order to interact with the object. Then we have kind of the meat and potatoes of this particular behavior, and that is the switch type. So the switch type just tells you which direction is it going to go in. We can push it, we can pull it, we can slide it left, right, up, down, or we can rotate it on one of the axes. So in my case, I chose to rotate it on Y. If you recall, the green axis is the Y, the red is X, and the blue is Z. So I'm just spinning it, and it's going to go clockwise along the Y axis. Just keep that in mind. I wouldn't want the skull to be facing the other direction because it would be a lot longer for it to turn around. Okay. We also have the switch movement. How far is it going to go? And that seems to be in units. It was kind of hard to tell, but if you could, because you would think it'd be degrees, right? You would think it would be, 45 degrees would turn it in that direction, but it doesn't quite work that way. I think it's probably units. So just bear that in mind, dial it in for your own use case. Then we have the sound. Now we have two sound slots, and again, always take a look at the description. It'll tell you what the sounds are for. So sound 0 is when the object is used, and sound 1 is when it's finished. Well, I didn't have a really good sound for when it was being turned, but I had the stone switch for when it was finally in position. Kind of let me know something had happened. And then that activated the stone. Now the stone, I'm just using door sliding because it doesn't really matter. All I needed was an object to slide out of the way, and that's what that behavior does. So that's what I used. Obviously, it's logic linked to the skull. So when the skull reaches its position, it slides the skull, or the stone rather. Now, the only other thing you need to know is that the object switch behavior is single use. So in other words, I couldn't turn it again and slide it back into place. Or if I was trying to use this as a light switch, I couldn't turn something on and off. I can only activate. I can't deactivate. So bear that in mind. Oh, I guess I mean, you go the other way around. If if the light was on and you wanted to turn it off, you could, but you couldn't turn it back on again. That's what I mean. It can't be toggled. So just bear that in mind. It's one of those niche use cases, but because of its directional variety, there's a lot of great things that you could do with this. You could be sliding things out of the way. You could be turning things, let's suppose there's a torch on the wall, and if you rotate it slightly, then it opens a secret door or something. Any number of different possibilities for this one. But that's it. That's the object switch behavior. If you learned anything new, if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to click the like button down below. It helps me out tremendously. If you're new here, or if you just haven't subscribed yet, I would love to have you stick around, so please be sure to do that. And then lastly, if you'd like a notification for whenever new videos are posted, I don't really keep a regular schedule. I always say that, so just bear in mind it can be kind of random at times. So if you'd like a notification, just click the bell icon, and that will let you know when new videos are ready for you. And that's it. Thanks so much for watching all the way through. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.